Good morning, children. Welcome to one more science class. So, in the last class, we have completed the first lesson. You have studied about the plants. So, since your textbook is due, after you get your textbook, we'll complete the textbook exercises. I think you have all followed the lesson plants, and you have learned why plants are necessary in our life and why we should grow plants. Is it not? Yes. Now today, in today's class, we'll move to the second lesson, that is the animal life. We have all studied about plants. Now we'll move to animal. Okay. Yes. So like plants, even the earth is home for many kinds of animals. Variety of animals live on earth. So we can find animals in the hot regions, in the cold regions, so which will be there and which will help them to support the life there. So whether the animals are big, whether it is small, it is microscopic, that is which is invisible. Through under microscope only you can see. So variety of animals we can find on the earth, and we can find it in the different regions on the earth. Okay, so it is not that all the animals live in one place only. So it lives in different places. Animals live in different places. Okay, so in this lesson, we'll study about the animal, the places where it lives, and the other points we will discuss. Okay, so the animal wherever it lives, as I said, it might be in the hot region, it might be in the cold region, wherever it lives, and whatever its body structure is, the outer covering of the body, however it is, okay, so it has to perform some functions so that it can survive in the place where it is living. So for a living thing, the breathing is very, very important. Feeding habit, food, taking food is very, very important. Water is important. Movement is important. So all these things for the survival of the living things, it is important. So like for animals also, it is important. So wherever it is, in whichever place it is, so it has to perform certain functions, as I said, like breathing, feeding habits, movement. So it has to perform certain functions so that it can survive in the place where it is. Okay, so as I said, the animals live in different places. So even the organs also which perform these functions. So it might be the body structure, outer covering of the body, or the breathing organs, or the organ which helps in the movement for it, and feeding habit. It all depends on the place where it is living. So it also depends upon the temperature where it is, and conditions, temperature, or the place where it is. So all these, depending on that, different animals have different organs which help them to live in the place where it is. Okay, so for example, now breathing organ of a dog, so which lives on the land. Oh, for the dog, it is the lungs. So this lives on land, is it not? And the animal which lives in water, for example, fish, so it has gills. Okay, so it is different depending upon the place where it lives. So different animals have different. This is only the example I am saying. The breathing organ. So not only the breathing organ, organs for movement and the feeding habits also depend upon the place where it is. So each animal, each organism will be having different organs. Okay, so in this lesson we'll see the different organs, what the animals have for breathing, what will be their feeding habits, what organs they have for movement depending upon the place where it lives. Okay, so we'll study about the animals today. Okay, so first we'll define a term which is called as habitat. Okay, habitat. So that means it is the environment Anything around us will be our environment. Okay, the environment in which an animal or a plant lives naturally is called its habitat. Is called its habitat. Understood? So the place where an animal lives. So as I said, there are different places where animal lives. So we'll study what are the places where the animal lives. So where it lives naturally, that term is called as habitat. So animals have different habitat. Different animals have different habitats. Okay. So there are 3 habitats depending upon the animals. First one is air, next is land, and next is water. Okay. So these are the 3 habitats where animal lives. So air, land, water. You know that birds live in air, and land, many animals, lion, cheetah, dog, cat, live on land, water, fish especially. Okay. So these are the 3 habitats. So as I said, habitats are different. Their body coverings will be different. Breathing organs will be different. The food, what they eat will be different. Everything will be different depending upon the habitat. Okay. Now, as I said, it will be the breathing organs, everything will be different. And the way how it lives, that also is different. It has to adjust to something in that particular environment. So that adjustment, what the animal does, so it might be in the form of their body coverings, the breathing organs, feeding habits, again and again I'm repeating that only. So all these adjustment, what the animal does, or what the nature has given those animals in order to survive in that environment, is called as adaptation. Or understood? So adaptation is change in an animal that gives advantage for survival in the environment. So any change in an animal, any change in an animal that gives it advantage, its advantage to survival in its environment, or in the environment. Okay, so that change or the adjustment, what the body does, so that adjustment is called as adaptation. 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 So till here you have learnt the 2 terms, habitat and the adaptation. Okay. So what is habitat? It is the place where the animal or the plant lives naturally. And air, land and water are the 3 habitats of different animals. And to live in that particular habitat, so the animal is given some adjustment or the change, so that it will suit in the environment in which it is living, in the habitat in which it is living. So that adjustment, that change, that is called as adaptation. Okay. Now, suppose, as I said, air, what kind of animals live? Birds fly in the air. So how its body covering is there? So it has been given the wings with the feathers, so that it will help to fly in the air, is it not? But for the land animal, they don't have the wings, or for the water animal, they don't have the wings. And for the land animals, in order to move from one place, they have the limbs, legs. But for the aerial animals, you don't have. And for the water animals, they stay in the water. So they have waterproof body covering, so that they will be in the water. So they have the waterproof body covering. So like that, there are different adjustment given or different change given for few animals, so that they can survive in the environment. Okay. Yes. And one more example I say, you know that polar regions, polar bear. So this is also one, in the land only it comes, polar region. Okay. So what lives here in the polar regions? Polar bear. Polar bear. So you know that it is very cold there. So how this polar bear, what adjustment is given to that polar bear? So it has a thick covering all over its body, so that it can protect itself from the cold. Okay. And then this camel, it is called the ship of the desert. So it lives in the desert. So how it is adapted to live in the desert? So it has a hump where it can store water. Since there is less water in the desert, it has long legs there, so that you know that the desert is very hot and dry. So to withstand that heat, so it has the long legs given. So, and for the eyes, the hairs, it is there all over the body, and the eyes to protect it from the sandstorm. So they have the hairs, more hairs, so that it will protect from the sandstorm. So like this, different changes, different adaptations are given to different animals, so that it can survive in the environment. So polar bear cannot come and stay in the desert, or camel cannot go stay in the polar region, is it not? So for this, it has a thick fur to protect from the cold, and it has long legs or hairs on their body to protect from the heat. So animals staying in different places have different body structures. It might be organs, it might be, so that it will protect itself to stay in the environment. Okay, so understood these two terms, habitat and adaptation. Okay, so the place where animal lives is habitat, and any change or the adjustment what the animal does is called as adaptation. Okay, so we'll move to the next point now. We'll see what are the different organs for different purposes, how it changes from animal to animal, from one animal to animal, how it changes. Okay. So as I said, the organs, whatever it might be, it is different for different animals. As I said, the organs are different from different animals. So first important thing, what for a living thing it is necessary is, in order to survive, they need to breathe, is it not? So today we'll see what are the different breathing organs in different animals. What are the different breathing organs in different animals? So when I talk about breathing, you know that we all need oxygen to breathe. All living beings need oxygen to breathe, is it not? Now when I say breathing, what is breathing? So it is intaking of the air. So when we breathe, we take air inside, that is oxygen, and we give out the air, that is carbon dioxide. So that process is called as breathing. Okay, so the taking in of oxygen and giving out of carbon dioxide is called breathing. So the intake of oxygen and giving out carbon dioxide. carbon dioxide by an organism or by a living thing, by a living organism you can say. By a living organism. So is called breathing. Okay. So as I said, we take air in and give out air. So the air what we take is called oxygen and what we give out is called carbon dioxide. But it is ulta in case of plants, opposite. So they take carbon dioxide and give out oxygen. Okay. Yes. So this process is called breathing. So as I said, the breathing is very, very important for the living beings. For all the living beings, apart from the food, water. So this breathing is very, very important. Okay. So we'll see different breathing organs in different animals. Okay. So first one, we'll study about the lungs. Lungs. Okay, so what are the animals which breathe through lungs? It is birds, it is mammals. So what are mammals? You have already learned. What are mammals? So they are the animals which directly give birth to young ones. Without laying eggs, they directly give birth to young ones and they have mammary glands and hair on their body. Cat, dog, cow, okay, deer. All these are called as mammals. So they directly give birth to young ones. They have the mammary glands and hair on their body. Okay, that is mammals. Then next is reptiles. Reptiles. Okay, so these are animals like lizard, tortoise, crocodile, turtle, all those things. Okay, so they are called reptiles. So what are reptiles? So those are organisms which have dry skin and they have the scales all over their body. Okay, so these birds, mammals and reptiles. Understood what are mammals? So they are the animals which have mammary glands which directly give birth to young ones and have hair on their body like cow, dog, cat. They don't lay eggs, directly give birth to young ones. And reptiles, tortoise, turtle, crocodile, lizards, all these are called reptiles. So they have dry skin and scaly skin all over their body. Okay, so all these animals will breathe through their lungs. Okay, so they have an organ called lungs which will help them to breathe. So even in the mammals, even us, we are also considered as mammals. So in the mammals group, we get human beings also. Human beings also. Okay, so we have human beings. We human beings are also mammals. They have 2 lungs inside their chest. Okay, so from the nasal, from the nostrils, you have a pipe like this. Okay, so on either side, like this. On this side, you have lungs like this. Okay, so this is the nostrils. So when we breathe, when we take air inside, okay, so what happens? It goes inside this. So this is the nose. So air goes inside. So these 2 are the lungs. Okay, so these 2 are the lungs which is present in the chest. So we have 2 on either side. Okay, so we have 2 lungs in the chest on either side. So when we breathe, when we take air inside through these nostrils, when we breathe, the air goes inside. Okay, and it goes through this tube and enters into the lungs here. Okay, enters into the lungs here. And it is going to enter into the lungs, and the lungs has rich supply of blood there. Okay, so through the blood, the oxygen, whatever we have taken, it reaches all the parts of the body. Okay, and again, the carbon dioxide also, from that carbon dioxide given out also, through those blood only it comes out, and through the nostrils, so again it comes out of the body. So the oxygen will enter into the body and carbon dioxide will come out. Carbon dioxide will come out. Okay, so once we breathe, the air enters into the lungs, and the lungs the air passes into the lungs, and the lungs have a rich supply of blood. So through that blood, the oxygen is carried through all the parts of the body. And again, when it is exhaled, when we are giving out air, again through that oxygen only, even the carbon dioxide also comes out. So this is the mechanism how the animals will breathe through the birds, through the lungs. Birds, mammals, reptiles, human beings, we breathe through the lungs. Okay, so we have two on either side lungs. We have two lungs in the chest. So it can be compared to a balloon. So when we blow air into the balloon, what happens? It becomes bigger. And when we take out the air, it becomes small. Is it not? The size decreases. So even the lungs also are like that only. So you can keep your hand on the chest and find out. When you take air, it increases, it becomes bigger, and when you give out, it goes inside. Okay, so observe this, do this and find out. So this is how the breathing, the mechanism of breathing takes place through the lungs. Okay, so birds, reptiles, mammals, human beings, we breathe through the lungs. Okay, and one special category is whales. So this, even though it lives in water, it comes under the category of mammals only. So even it also we breathe through the lungs only. So it comes to the surface of the water, it takes oxygen and it breathes. Okay, so when it wants to breathe, it comes to the surface of the water. It has large lungs. So it comes to the surface of the water and it breathes. Okay, so this is the first organ, breathing organ, what we saw, lungs. Okay, yes. Now next, we move to the next organ. Next organ, it is gills. Second is gills. Okay, so these gills, what are the animals which breathe through gills? Is fish, crab, prawns. So these animals breathe through the gills. So they have organs called gills. Now suppose when I draw the fish, okay, like this. So it has gills on either side of its body. Now suppose fish is like this. So on either side of the body, it has a organ called gills. So which is there inside a pouch like thing. So it is feathery organ like this. Feather organ, it is like feathers which is present on either side of the animal, head of the animal, and it is put inside a pouch like thing. Okay, so when the fish gulps water, when it takes water into its mouth, so the oxygen which is present in the water, it is going to reach the gills. Again, this gills has rich supply of blood. So through that blood only, the oxygen will reach the other parts of the body. Okay, so it reaches the other parts of the body. And once again, when it gives out the air, so through that blood only, the carbon dioxide also comes out. So like us only, but the breathing organ is different. So when it gulps the water, when it takes the water inside, so the air which is present in the water, oxygen which is present in the water will enter into the gills of the fish or the crab or the prawns. So it reaches the other parts of the body through the blood, where the blood is present in the gills. So it reaches the other parts of the body and it breathes through it. And again, by the same thing only, the oxygen, carbon dioxide also comes out of the body. Okay, so this is how the gills are there in fish, crab, prawns, all those things. Okay, water animals especially. And the third one is spiracles. Next is spiracles. Okay, so what breathes through spiracles? Insects, mosquitoes, okay, insects, mosquitoes, flies, all these things breathe through the spiracles. What are these spiracles? Even the butterfly also. Fly is a butterfly also. Okay. Now you might have seen you have a butterfly like this. Is it not? So underside their body, that is here, on either side of their body, they have tiny holes. Okay, tiny holes like this. Tiny holes. So when it breathes the air, when it takes the air inside, so through these tiny holes, the air is going to enter into the body. Those tiny holes are called as spiracles. The tiny holes which are present underside the body of an insect or mosquito or flies are called as spiracles. So when it breathes the air, it is going to enter into its body through the spiracles. So inside this, there is a long tube. Inside its body, there is a long tube and there is network for the tubes. Okay, so through that long tubes, network of tubes, the air is going to enter, it is going to pass throughout its body. Understood? So that breathing organ is called as spiracles. Got it? So what are the animals which breathe through spiracles? Insects, mosquitoes and flies. Understood? So they have tiny holes underside their body, on either side of their body, through which the air, whatever they breathe, it is going to enter, and inside there is a long tube which has network. That is interconnected. Network means it is connected. So through that tube, the air is going to pass through the whole body, and again through that holes only. So the carbon dioxide, what it gives out, it comes out. Got it? So this is about the spiracles. Yes. Next, we'll move to the next breathing organism or breathing organ, that is called as skin. What is skin? Or moist skin. Moist is wet. Okay. So animals like earthworm. Animals like earthworm, they breathe through the moist skin. So you have the earthworm like this. So this, the outer covering moist skin, wet. Okay. Like this. So through this skin, the air is going to enter inside. Again, there is a network of tubes, which is the air, whatever it breathes, passes through the whole body. Okay. So that is skin, or the moist skin, you can say. Moist skin, wet skin. Okay. So this earthworm. Okay. So these are the different breathing organs, breathing organs of different animals. Okay. So, and one more special is the frog. Okay. Fifth one, frog. Why it is special? Because it lives both on land and in water. Is it not? So when it is on the land, it is going to breathe through lungs. And when it is in water, it is going to breathe through the moist skin. Okay, so the frog is adapted to two types of breathing because it lives both on land and in water. So when it is on land, it breathes through the lungs, and when it is in water, it breathes through the moist skin. Understood, children? So these are the different breathing organisms or organs of different animals. Birds, mammals, reptiles, human beings have lungs. So the air will pass through it, and through the blood it reaches all the parts of the body, and the air given out carbon dioxide also comes out through that only. And fish, frog, prawns, so they breathe through the gills. So they are the feathery organs which are present on either side of the head of an animal, and which is present in the pouch, which is put in the pouch. So when the fish gulps the water, when it takes the water, so the oxygen which is present in, so the fish, crab and prawns have gills as their breathing organ. So when it gulps the water, so it takes the oxygen present inside and then gives out the carbon dioxide. And in insects, mosquitoes and flies have air holes, tiny holes on either side of the body, so through which it is going to breathe. Okay, so the tiny holes are called as spiracles. So they have the network of those tubes through which the air enters into the body. Okay, and then the moist skin, earthworm breathes through the moist skin, and frog is adapted to two types of breathing. So when it is on the land, it will breathe through the lungs, and when it is in water, it is going to breathe through the moist skin. Okay, children? So till here, I'm going to stop. I'll conclude this. So in the next class, we'll see the different feeding habits, how the animals are classified according to the different feeding habits. Okay. Yes. So in the last classes, I had given the assignments. So first assignment was the diagram. I had given seed and germination, and second one was the keywords I gave. Okay. So today also I'm going to give you the assignment, that is homework number 3. I'm going to give you 5 fill in the blanks, which you can write it in your homework book 3 times. Okay. So first make a note in your rough book today. Okay. The first one. This is homework 3. Okay. The first main, fill in the blanks. Fill in the blanks. First one, rose and sugarcane can reproduce from their stem cuttings. From their stem cuttings. Second, cotton seeds are dispersed. Cotton seeds are dispersed by wind. So since they are very light in weight, they are dispersed by wind. Third, a baby plant that emerges from the seed is called is called seedling. Is called seedling. Okay, so these three, write it 3 times. This is your today's homework. So rose and sugarcane can reproduce from their stem cuttings. Cotton seeds are dispersed by wind. A baby plant that emerges from the seed is called seedling. Okay, so write this 3 times. Learn it. Handwriting should be very, very neat. Again, I'm saying. So we'll continue the lesson in the next class. Until then, take care, children. Bye.